Hi there guys, this is Tim with Photofied, and today I'm going to talk about how to buy old manual lenses for your A6000. So today we're going to go over 4 main points of how to get old, beautiful lenses for your A6000. First part we're going to do is where to find these old lenses. I would start looking on Craigslist, KEH, your dad's old camera bag, and Goodwill. On Craigslist, there's a lot of good deals. People don't usually mark them appropriately. They won't tell you what type of lens it is at all. So you have to really just look into it and compare pictures from old lenses to what you're looking at. KH is a used camera lens and body shop. You can buy new lenses, old lenses, all sorts of stuff. They do a really good job on their quality ratings. You can trust those actually pretty thoroughly. And your dad's old camera bag. My first manual lenses, this 50mm broken on 1.7, which is a fine lens, it gets the job done, was actually my dad's from before I was born. So yeah, I actually got my first set of manual lenses from him. I only use this one and one other one now. Some of the other ones I don't use anymore because I don't like them very much. And also, you can get old lenses at Goodwill. This is where I got my 70 to 150 Vivitar 3.5 with a macro. I really like this lens a lot. I did a review on it by itself. Smooth focus ring, and I found this on a Minolta body in Goodwill, and I just took the lens off the body and brought it to the cashier and they took it out. Also tip, by taking the lens off the body, I removed the price tag because the price tag was on the body. So when I went up to Goodwill, they had to price check it, and they usually just say some low price and then you get it. So I got this for $8. Alright, so now we're going to talk about how to find the correct adapter for your lens. This is a Fotasy, F-O-T-A-S-Y, MD to NEX mount. I actually have a few of these because I have quite a few MD lenses, because MD is an old Minolta mount, and so I have a lot of those. How I typically find the lens mount is, if I can, I will ask the original owner what type of lens mount it is. Usually they'll say either Pentax, M42 screw mount, a bunch of different ideas of what they might say. Look that up online, try to find it. If you can't, if the owner doesn't tell you or it has no idea, look at the bottom of the lens. This one here is a screw mount, but it has PX, which actually correlates to a screw mount type lens. And I was able to simply get this M42 to NEX, which is what the A6000 is. It's NEX/E mount lens. One of the big advantages of having the Sony A6000 is its flange distance is very short. So for my adapters for the A6000, I only need a hollow ring, so there's no extra glass elements. For my old T2i, I had an adapter too, but I added this glass element in the middle, which is a pretty crappy glass element. And yeah, it doesn't work that well, or I haven't found it to work that well for the projects I've been doing. So another advantage of the A6000, or mirrorless cameras in general, short flange distance adapters for all the old lenses. One side note with my Fotasy adapters here, they have a tripod mount, which is very nice. However, it does get loose quite easily. So I took out the nuts here and put some Loctite in and locked it all down, and it's been good ever since. So how do I tell if a lens is worth buying? Well, even though legacy glass is relatively inexpensive, there still is garbage out there, or stuff that's not that good. This 135 f2.8 JCPenney lens, with JCPenney distributed lenses, it's not that great. Cloudy, not even sharp, not even stop down. It's just not that good of a lens. So how do I evaluate a lens when I first get it? Well, I'll hold this 50 here. First thing you want to do when you get the lens is make sure everything moves properly. Make sure the focus ring goes forward and back without any sort of issues. Make sure it doesn't keep on going. Another thing. Make sure the aperture closes and opens properly. The blades are even and they're very reactive. I don't really care too much about dirt or dust, because when you're looking at some of this old stuff, a lot of it hasn't been used in 20 years. So you're going to get dirt and dust. but try to avoid any major scratches. You could use the light, try to look at the glass elements. Also, something I'll do is I'll open up the lens all the way and hold that just about arm's length. And from there, you can actually see a focused image of the world, well, upside down. But you can see it, and that way you can kind of make sure that all the elements of the lens are in there. Make sure it doesn't make any noise. Make sure I have a lens that does that, and I don't use it because it's falling apart inside. Another thing I will do is go to pentaxformreviews.com or pentaxreviews, pentaxforms.com. I will put a link down in the description. They do a really good job at evaluating different manual lenses and basically giving you the truth about whether they're good or not. There's a lot of good stuff out there, so yeah, there's also a lot of crap too. Be careful. Things I've learned to avoid. I am not a big fan of these push-pull zooms. A push-pull zoom is where you push it and pull it to make it zoom or go wide, and a focus ring is built in, so you do it all at once. This is the second one I've got. This one actually has a lot of high reviews. This one has really funky macro mode that I learned about in Pentax Form Reviews, and I've actually had to take apart this lens twice and replace an element. And I still don't use it because it doesn't quite work right for me. So this is a lens I bought that hasn't worked out. This is the only one I bought that hasn't worked out. Push-pull zooms, there's a lot of moving pieces. If you really want to be safe on old manual lenses to buy a lot of primes because there's a lot less moving pieces. Getting into the old manual lens legacy glass world is awesome. There's a ton of stuff out there. There's some really cool old Russian lenses. I'll show an image that I could grab offline. It's not my image, someone else's image. But of this particular lens, I can't remember the name, but there's some really cool glass that's really inexpensive. Buying this glass has made it hard for me to want to buy modern glass. Like when I can get a 70 to 150, 3.5 or 3.8 that can do almost everything a 70 to 200 could do except autofocus. And I'm not a wedding photographer, so I don't have to be running that quickly to stuff. Like I shoot portraits, paid portraits with this outdoors. It's not that hard. You find your shot, and you find your focal length you want for the effect you want, and then you're just working the focus ring and you're shooting. I shoot my daughter with this lens, she runs around. It's not that challenging. But when you pay, because this is like $12 and this was $8, when you pay $20 for a lens, it makes it hard to want to spend $700, $1,000. Now maybe when I'm making more money and doing whatever, that might not be an issue. But for right now, it makes it really hard for me to want to save up for a big lens. Honestly, the thing I want to save up for next is the Sony a7 II, because I'll be able to use more manual lenses on it. Anyway, this is Tim with Photofied. Hope you guys are having a good day. Enjoy some manual lenses. They're a blast.